Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 139 of Masters of the Forge. Be sure to drink your quarantine. This is Adam and Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Adam. Hello, everyone.
How are you faring in this strange new world we live in, Jason?
Well, I've always been a night owl. I mean, this was observed by my family when I was like 3 and 4 years old. And my natural tendencies keep pushing my go-to-bed time much farther back. Yesterday, Saturday morning, I was sitting there, was like, it's 5:30, and I've been playing with drum sequencers all night long. It's time to go to bed.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. I've been... Like, yes, I spent all day yesterday exhausted. And when I went to bed, I was like, well, I guess I'm not sleeping for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping tonight is a different night. So I've been working from home pretty regularly. Like, it's just been kind of normal for me. I know it hasn't been the same for other people, which sucks. My heart goes out to the folks who got laid off or furloughed or whatever, because that's not cool.
No, it's not. No.
I wish we had a more robust unemployment system here, but it's unfortunate. And if anybody needs to hang out and paint or whatever, just let me know and we'll set up a hangout or whatever anybody wants to do. Which, that's been nice, having all these. A lot of people have set up hangout and paints, including GW, which is really cool.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't hopped on there. I now spend so much time on Zoom that by the time class is done at the end of the day, I just kind of want to. I'm tired of running the headphones.
Oh yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because I'm used to, with editing, the podcast and other stuff I do, I'm used to running headphones like constantly. And I think on Friday I was sitting there, I was like, I don't want to wear these anymore. I just took them off. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be near this computer. I just want to go hobby. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, what have you been up to, dude?
All right. So, let's see. What have I been up to? Well, a lot of hobby, but not a lot of painting. Well, anyways, we'll get to it. So I guess, what was it? You and I were doing a hobby session, and I was building those kangaroo APCs. And I don't know if you remember this. No, I was building the Pyroclasts. Sorry. I ran out of super glue. Right at the beginning of our shelter in place. I think they'd announced it, but we hadn't done it yet. So I ran to my neighborhood hardware store and picked up a whole bunch of super glue. Well, not a whole bunch, but about four packets of 2 tubes each. I walked up to the thing. I was like, "Do I look like a hoarder?" I was like, "Well, no one else has bought any. In fact, no one was standing by the super glue at all." So I was like, "Oh, I'll be okay." And they didn't even bat an eye. So. All right, I'm not a hoarder.
Nobody needed to huff in the apocalypse.
Hey, man, there's other stuff out there that's better, but whatever. I also picked up some spray paint too, because I realized I was dangerously low on primer. Yeah, there we go. I know words. I know them. Okay. So what have I been up to? So I went and I don't know if you remember this. G-Dubs went through and released some plastic Zone Mortalis tiles. And so, yeah.
What the hell?
Sorry.
Oh, was that you? I thought it was me.
That was you.
Oh, okay.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm not editing that. So anyways, I had these tiles I'd picked up. They're the plastic ZM tiles. And so I went ahead and primed those with my primed them and painted them the same way that I did my Resin Zone Mortalis stuff. Just using a rattle can. I've still got to do more work on it, but I got that taken care of finally. But I have been building a lot, like, the thermic vents, those pipes, the Mechanicus inspired pipes. Somehow I managed to pick up a bunch of those. I don't know. Well, I know where they came from. They came from those, some of the battle boxes for Kill Team had them. And so I just kind of put them aside. I was like, I'll build these later. And I was like, I should have been building them as I was going, because I realized I had a whole bunch of stuff that I really, I have a really large backlog of terrain that needs to be built and painted. So there's that. I finally got that Tyranid Demon Prince I have. I finally got that on a base. It still needs more paint, but it's, it's getting there. And it looks fun. I like
plenty of spinities.
Yeah. The reason I haven't done a whole lot of painting on it is because I look at it and think, ouch, this is going to hurt.
You're going to stab yourself multiple times.
Just picking it up, I stab myself every time, because it's the old metal model. It's the metal model with some plastic bits, with some other stuff, and just like, do I feel like donating blood? Not really. Okay. The nice thing is I do have some Blood for the Blood God technical paint, so I can just, that'll help me out.
You got an infusion?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. So I built a Land Raiders Achilles, which is the 2 multi-melt and a Thunderfire cannon. And I think, I built that when I was talking to you, right?
Maybe?
Yeah, I think I was talking to you and John, Skippy. Let's call him Skippy. That'll drive him crazy. Yeah, I built when I was talking to you guys, because I was showing pictures to y'all. That was a fun build. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Because I built a couple of Land Raiders and never enjoyed it, but this one was like a fairly easy Land Raider to build, which I'm not sure how a Forge World model is easier to build than a plastic model. But hey, whatever. The real question I have on that one, and I'm still battling this one out, is, do I paint this for the Thousand Suns, my 30k Heresy Sons of Magnus scheme? It's in the Candy Apple Red. Or do I paint it as a Blood Raven, Land Raider? So that's kind of where I am. Like, I could do a really good job on the Blood Ravens without a problem. So I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I mean, most of my vehicles are painted as Blood Raven, so I probably will, and then I'll have a nice mechanical thing going on there if I want. Okay. So, but I'm still, if anyone has opinions or whatever, let me know. I'm still getting it sorted on that one.
No, you don't need to rush it,
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not like I'm going to have a chance to get into a game anytime soon.
Aww. Wah, wah.
Aww. Although it would work if we're wanting to do an APOC game at some point, and I guess I could throw it in with like a couple of the Land Raiders. So yeah, I don't know. We'll figure that out. Let's see. Then I built a bunch of 30k stuff, like Garrow the Knight Errant, a Vigilator, which is a HQ model for 30k. And then there's a unit for the Salamanders called the Pyroclasts, and they're basically heavy flamer dudes.
That's cool.
And they look like feral salamanders. They're really a cool. I mean, they're salamander unit, but they look more dangerous, I guess. I don't know. They're great. They're a great unit. I mean, I don't know if they're the great unit on the board, but they are really cool sculpts.
Like, basically, if you're just making heavy flamer guys and use those instead, like, you're a jerk, because these are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I like making broad generalizations like that. It's very important to me.
They're beautiful models, man. I look at them and go, this is so cool. So anyways, I built those, and they have these like resin cables that are straight, and so I actually managed to figure out how to bend them without screwing it up. Which, honestly, that's a giant Yahtzee for me because I've been screwing that up pretty hard. I haven't glued them yet because I'm still shaping them, but you know, I'm getting it. I'm figuring it out. Let's see, and then if y'all remember, I went and picked up the kangaroo APCs from Victoria Miniatures.
Yeah.
So I built. For those of you who don't know, was it for every $50 that you pay, she'll send you a free character?
Yeah.
So I built the Annika Sage, which is a female. I said Inquisitor, but it's not Inquisitor. It's a Commissar from Victoria Miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty cool model. And I also picked up the. Hold on, it's her version of Sly Marbo, but I think it's Sylvia Rambo. A really, really cool sculpt. So I've got those two both built, and
did you manage to get Joan, or were you too late?
I was too late. I was bummed.
Me too.
I'm gonna have to go through and kit bash a female Inquisitor. So, but I mean, my regular female Inquisitor is always kit bash. So that's not a big deal. Let's see, 2 more things, then you get to go to your hobby. So. A couple of years ago, my mom was tearing out a water filtration system in her house. She got a new one. And so it's this, they pulled this out and it has these like 3 big pipes in this base. And she's like, I'm going to throw this away. And I looked at it, and the 30K, 40K Games Workshop, you know, hobby miniature person showed up and was like, I want that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't throw that away.
Yeah, don't throw that away. I mean, it's just like, this is too cool. And so I tried cleaning it. Actually, it took me a couple of months to go through and finally get all the water out of it. You know, it just took a long time to go through. And I even like drilled holes in the bottom of the system so that would help drain. And I thought I got all the water out. And this has been like almost 2 years. The other day, whenever I went to prime it, I tipped it just the right way and a whole bunch of water drained out. I was like, how the hell is this happening?
I wonder if maybe you used your compressor. It could have gotten it out a little bit easier.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I might do that. I might try that out. Well, anyways, I finally primed that, you know, with the Rattle can, which I mean, I've had it for almost 2 years, but yeah, I just hadn't done it yet. So I primed it and hit it with the secondary primer I have that I use as kind of my base coat, and I'm starting to do some details on it. But what's funny is like there's all this paper, you know, tags and whatnot, and I tried to remove all of them, but it wasn't happening, and I was too lazy to buy like Gooby Gone or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, Goo-Gone,
that's it. So I just went through and painted over that, so it's got extra texture. And what will happen is it wears off. Yeah, it'll expose the undercoat. Well, and I'll just prime over that.
Or you could take some plastic card and just glue it on there as a plate.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of area. Well, we'll see what happens. I plan on... I want this thing to look like kind of orky, kind of really messed up. And if I go through and just kind of prime stuff over, or, you know, paint over and whatnot, I think that'll do something for it that I might like. All right. So... we'll see what happens. Let's see. Last thing, I received there's a book called Figipedia. And it's basically just a book on painting. It's not airbrush specific or paintbrush specific, but it's really looking at how does light work and whatnot. And so I ordered that through CK Studios, because they do some stuff for their alumni, and it's a great book.
Nice.
You know, like I've been lucky. I've managed to go to a couple of different, you know, hobby or airbrush lessons workshops, and then, you know, I follow quite a few painters and whatnot. And so I felt like there was a lot of stuff in there that I knew, but there was so much in there that I was like, oh, that I, you know, was new. So, yeah, really, really great book. I lent it to my mom so that she could have something to read, because she's also a wildlife photographer in her spare time, and so she was, really enjoying reading the book. So I need to get it back from her. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my hobby progress. I'm sure I forgot stuff, because literally every time we do hobby progress, I know I've forgotten something because I never remember to write it down. So. What about you? I know you've done a lot, including one really huge thing that I'm like stunned by.
Cool. Well,
yeah.
I've been working on the Warlords. I was in the middle of those during our last episode, during 138, and I was able to finish those up. I used the weathering powders to make so like I was saying before, I painted the base black. And then applied the weathering powders to that, which definitely makes it look very Marsy. I also used some old battle mech pieces to make like industrial terrain on the bases, and that actually worked out pretty well too. I had some spherical beads. And I glued some of those to one of the bases as like gas tanks. And I ran paper clips from them as pipes, and that also looks pretty cool. I was really happy with those guys. It came out really well, really good. The green wash worked out, which actually was kind of surprising to me. But yeah, I'm happy with those. I got Tucky from Victoria Miniatures. It was the thing I ordered for Adepticon. They sent it with free shipping, which was nice.
Oh, okay. I was going to say one thing on the Warlords.
Yeah.
Whenever Adeptus Titanicus decides to do, like, if they decide to do a Prospero campaign, I'm in.
Sweet. I would love for somebody to scan those. I would love for somebody to scan those into Tabletop Simulator. As it stands, you can only have full-size Titans, which it's fun.
Sure,
but,
man. Yeah.
So yeah, I got Tucky. Tucky's a tank commander that you put in your tank. So I'm going to stick him into the onto the kangaroo that I got. I intentionally only lightly glued the top hatch on my turret. Yeah. So that'll easily pull off, and I can stick Tucky in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't glue them together either. I just kind of lightly glued the hinges to the base, so I won't have to pull them apart. I can just have it open. So that'll be fun. Cool. Yeah, he's got a chicken leg in one hand, and I think a Diet Coke in the other hand. He's super chubby. He's great.
Yeah, I know. Okay, now I know which model that is. Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly which model that is, because I remember seeing that and thinking, that's hilarious. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love him. He's great. I rebased all the demons for the Watuska. Which was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff...
That's a ton of work.
Some of the stuff was easy because I didn't change the actual base.
Yeah.
So, that wasn't too bad. But I totally switched the bases on all the 28 millimeter or 25 millimeter stuff to 32s. Yeah, so that was a huge amount of work doing that.
Yeah.
I also refigured one of the skull cannons, the one that had legs. I ripped the legs off. And I was able to find the wheels, the original wheels that it was supposed to come with, and I added like a cow catcher on the front of it.
Yeah. And you also built that one. Yes. There's one model that you built and you painted in 24 hours, and I kind of almost hated you when I saw that.
Right. The third skull cannon.
Yeah.
I made it out of the a Seraphon dinosaur head And the 4 wheels I bought from Victoria Miniatures, they're like artillery wheels.
Yeah.
They have spokes, so they kind of look a little like not modern.
Yeah.
And then pieces from what are they called? The Chaos War Machine with the quadrupedal War Machine things. Anyways.
The Filers?
No, the other ones. The newer ones.
Got it. It looks... Okay, that model looks awesome.
Thank you.
That was... Yeah. I mean, as you were building it, I mean, because we were... This is whenever we were doing the hobby time over Skype or Google Hangouts. And, you know, I remember watching you, like, build it. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know. And then the next day, or the next night, you'd already painted it. And I was like, you know, Adam, you're my bud. I love you, but I kind of hate you right now. So, you know, if you want to just punch yourself in the junk, go ahead. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah, it's cool, good. Man. It's good.
Okay, yeah. Lots of love.
I appreciate that. Well, you know, Quinn goes down to bed at 6:30 every night, and he wakes up at like 6:30. So,
wow,
I have lots of time to do whatever I feel like doing. I haven't done any of the mortal side of it, any of the Chaos Space Marine side.
Yeah,
I find that stuff to be. It was cool for Khorne Demonkin, but I kind of feel weird about using it these days, even though I love my Helldrake and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of
your Helldrake's fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of and also the Boar Rider. The you usually use him as a Chaos Lord on Juggernaut.
Oh yeah.
He's cool. I don't know. I'm holding off on that for a little bit. I kind of need a break from rebasing anyways. So I've painted a few characters in the past week or so. I painted the special edition Noise Marine in my pink scheme, and I gave him like purple shoulder pads and stuff. Right. And I'm like, because right now all of my Emperor's Children are in this riot motley colors.
Right.
And it's fun, but it doesn't look very uniform. It looks like it looks like it sounds. It's a giant riot of colors on the battlefield.
Yeah.
If I could redo it all in just pink and purple, I think it would look a lot better. But I don't have time. Well, I mean, I'm just going to leave that as a thought for now. If I ever have less money than time, I will maybe consider that as a project. I also
lore-wise though, the Emperor's Children were already doing that riot of color before Siege of Terra. I mean, that's
it's a thing they were doing.
Yeah, so it's really kind of the, you know, if you're going to do like the pink and purple, that means you're doing, you know, early Heresy Emperor's Children. You may be doing Heresy era. You may be doing Great Crusade era. Wow. I actually had that conversation. I've got to get out more. Okay, cool.
No,
all right.
But it makes you make a lot of sense, and I should just leave it as is for now. So then I painted my Lena Stormspire model, the store opening miniature that I got when Clifton Park opened.
I love that. Yeah. I love that model, dude.
Yeah, so I painted
her. You did
a
great job on there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I painted her Anvils of the Heldenhammer, which is a black scheme. Yeah. Black and gold and red. I really like that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I put a lot of effort into it. Like I put a couple of hours into her face and stuff. So I'm really pleased about that model.
Yeah.
Not enough to make me paint an entire like Stormcast Eternals army. That would be no thank you.
Yeah, don't do that.
But it was good. It was good. She's in my case. She's cool.
Yeah. Well, she'd be a great like Inquisitor or something like that as a special character if you want to use her in 30K. Yeah. You know, that's because with our with our narrative campaign with the Inquisition Wars, Dob painted up a Stormcast Eternal with a male head, if I remember correctly, and that's his Inquisitor. You know,
awesome.
I think he has a Ordo Malleus, if I remember right, which they can take Terminator armor, if I remember correctly. So yes, I think he's counting his Terminator armor. Yeah,
they can. I also painted my Cryptek from the something of Iron, whatever. The story, whatever. The one that had the Mechanicus versus Necrons from back in the day. Forgebane, yeah. So I didn't put him on the floaty thing. I just put him on a base.
Right.
Which is interesting because when you normally pose him, he's got these two fingers pointed forward. But when you put him on a base, he's pointing them up into the sky. So it looks like he's saying peace out. He's like, peace. It's pretty great. I like that. I named it the Hag because, my Necrons are like swampy Necrons.
Yeah.
And it's this Cryptek trudging through the swamp. So I painted that. So I painted 3 characters. I was going to try to get one done today, but I think we're going to not. I think I'm going to go take a nap or something instead.
Yeah, there's no, this is a time that you can nap.
Yes.
Napping. In fact, I'm probably going to go back to sleep after this recording because at 3 o'clock last night, I was like, you have to wake up at 8. You realize that, right? Like all of a sudden, I was turning into a parent over myself, and that was really weird. So,
I was in a hobby hangout with a bunch of guys, including Colin and from Organized Mischief.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked me through fixing my airbrush.
Your airbrush was broken?
Yeah, I had disassembled it to clean it, and I couldn't get it back together again.
Oh.
I was having a hard time figuring that out. But it works now. I'm just missing a gasket, like a rubber. But I can get one of those. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'll put some plumber's tape on the threads for now, and that should be fine.
I've got plumber's tape all over the place on my compressor. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Just because. Sometimes it's just easier to do that. I
think I'm going to try using it to paint my 65 or whatever Seraphon that I have, the Warriors.
Oh, okay.
I haven't tried it on infantry yet, and I think it's time to at least have a go. And those models are perfect for that. And I just want to say, I think I've found my favorite brush so far. My sister gave it to me for Christmas. It's a Master's Touch number 2 round. The only unfortunate thing, I looked it up to see because it can only last so long in my hands because I'm terrible, but it's lasted for like a long time, and it's since Christmas I've had it.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, they sell it at Hobby Lobby. My sister must have bought it at Hobby Lobby, so I'm gonna try to find.
Somewhere else.
I wonder if I can get it directly from, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's a specific. I wonder who actually manufactures it, and I can get it from that manufacturer instead.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe I can get it from Dick Blick or something. I don't know.
Or try. Wait, y'all don't have a Jerry's Artorama near you?
No. We have Michael's. I'll do some research, but this brush has been amazing. All right, dude, what have you been working on as far as playing games? I'm sure you've gotten lots of games played during the coronavirus outbreak.
Yeah, quarantine, stay at home. So I played Cards Against Humanity with you and our, Eastern Canada correspondent Mike and your family and Keith from my Warhammer Guild listening in. That was fun. I had never played Cards Against Humanity. Your cousin cleaned up.
Yeah.
Like, and not even like a little bit. It was, pretty lopsided. It made the rest of us look pretty. Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was good fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun. We'll have to do that again. I enjoyed that. So that's my games played.
Yeah, basically that's it for me too. I did that game with you guys. Played some Jackbox Party Pack with my cousins, which was fun.
Yeah.
My buddies and I got together the other night for some Space Base in Kingsburg on Tabletop Simulator.
Okay. Space Base.
Space Base is pretty cool. You're building
this is a 40K podcast. Sorry, but
it's like well, at this point everybody's looking for stuff to do. It's a great game. It's like I don't know if anybody's ever played Dice City. It's kind of like that. You roll dice and you can apply the numbers of those dice wherever you want, either individually in 2 locations or combined in 1 location. So, like, say you have a tableau of 12 cards in front of you, 12 cards in front of you, and you roll 2 dice, and say you roll a 1 and a 6, you can either apply it to your 1 spot and your 6 spot, or your 7 spot.
Okay.
Usually the 7 and higher are more powerful results.
Got it.
But it's really interesting. It's a quick game, and it's easy to learn, and it's all based on probabilities and planning and stuff like that. It's really cool. I recommend it highly. It's way better than Dice City.
Yeah. Okay.
Dice City has some balance issues that this game does not. So that's really good.
Got it. Okay.
So we had fun playing those. Our group, a couple of the guys in our group, I want to do a tabletop league on Vassal. It's been years since I've tried using Vassal. They like it better than Tabletop Simulator. I would assume, I haven't asked them why, but it's 2D. It's not 3D Vassal.
Oh.
So it's more tactical. It's less guessy, which I think that's why the guys like it so much.
Okay. I have not used Vassal, so I am not familiar with it at all.
It's interesting. I haven't used it in years, like I said. I'm sure it's gotten a lot better. I think it's Java based, which
okay.
I don't know. Anyways,
we'll
I think
see.
it would be nice. It would be nice to have like a league going with everybody getting together and hanging out and doing stuff. So that would be fun, and so we're going to try to support that as best we can.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously the games played situation is going to be
pretty slim
for a while.
Yeah.
So Jason.
Yes.
Do you hear the winds of change coming for us as we
Does that mean we're going somewhere?
Carried beyond the fringe? Thank you. See, that's nice.
That was funny. Okay. Totally. Well, yeah, we didn't plan that at all. I mean, period. That's not even a joke. Okay. So, Beyond the Fringe. What are we thankful for that is not GW and or hobby related, right? So, yeah. My Beyond the Fringe. And basically, this is a lot of people's probably. I've been using Zoom and Skype and Google Hangouts a lot. Mm-hmm. One, to basically stay in contact with, my students, but also with my friends and whatnot, because, I'm here in my apartment with my cats.
Aww.
So yeah, there's that, but also this is actually probably the better Beyond the Fringe. I'm buying a new computer.
Oh.
I just ordered it. It's supposed to be here mid-April. My current machine that I'm recording on right now is it's almost 10 years old, and it's showing its age. Like I can't even run Tabletop Simulator on it anymore. But I can run Pro Tools. I can run my audio stuff. So it's like I'll need to go ahead and buy a new computer, and I'll need to make sure that it's a computer that will last at least 3 to 5 years. So that comes in a couple of weeks, and I can start playing Tabletop Simulator, and I guess I can try out Vassal.
Yeah, I think for our purposes, if we want to do games for the podcast and stuff, Tabletop Simulator is better because all of the 3D models from Dawn of War are on there. It's way more engaging for our purposes.
Oh yeah.
So
I can have my Blood Ravens.
Yeah, you can have your Blood Ravens, and we can play some Kill Team. That'll be fun. I would like that very much.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. We can hear me talk about how I don't care what the dice roll is, I die. or better yet, it's like I'm going to command point that because I want my thing to explode.
Yes. So my Beyond the Fringe is the same. Like hobby hangouts and stuff have been a godsend. I think it's great.
Oh yeah.
But I do want to shout out Warhammer TV for doing the same thing. Like they've been doing these hangout and hobby every day. Every day they've been doing hangout and hobby.
Is this on Twitch or
it's on
where?
Twitch? On Twitch.
Okay. And so I need to actually do that. Okay.
It's open, so if folks don't have a subscription, they can actually join in the hobby hangouts. Yeah. Every Monday morning they do a community roundup where they go through some of the people who did hashtag Warhammer TV. Hashtag Warhammer community on Twitter, and they go through some pictures and they talk about people's hobby. And they also have a hobby clinic, I think every Tuesday, where they do rapid fire question and answer of I think it's Tuesday. You'll have to look it up, but they do Q&As on hobby stuff with Peachy and Nick Baton.
Okay,
which is really
cool.
nice.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really happy with that. It's been nice to have. I mean, I'm working when it's on, but it's nice to have in the background while I'm working. Yeah,
that is good. That is cool.
Yeah.
Do they archive it? Like, can you watch it later, or is it?
You can go back and watch some. Actually, the hobby or the community roundup last week had some of my Demon Orcs on it, so that was cool.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's right. You were taking those pictures. Okay, that's what that was for. Okay, cool.
Well, I've been putting all my pictures on Twitter because the Demon Orcs never had really good pictures because they didn't photograph. They really didn't photograph very well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I've been taking pictures of every unit as I paint it, getting it on
that's right.
the internet.
That's right.
So that'll be cool. Check that out. So, Jason, I'm getting a letter in the snail mail. Dear podcasters, stop. MMXVLI Segmentum Pacificus Astropathic Communique inbound.
Okay.
I guess.
Cool.
I tried switching it up there. It really didn't work.
Yeah, we've got to work on that. I got to figure out something on that. Okay.
So we've had 2 weekends worth of reveals from Games Workshop.
Yeah.
It's like a total of 3 hours worth of content doing these reveals, which was a lot. There was something for pretty much every system that they support right now. Yes, there was. Yeah. Like, for example, I'm going to be buying a Treeman for my Halfling Blood Bowl team. I already made one, if you'll recall. I made like my own custom one out of an old metal treant.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Blood Bowl, it comes with Acorn the squirrel, AKHORNE, the squirrel. Which, I mean, that alone means I need to buy that, obviously. Yeah. So I'm gonna get that. But yeah, we have a lot of 40K. We'll talk about the 40K stuff briefly. We have Hammer and Bolter, which is traditional animation, like anime style animation, which looks really cool to me. We have War of the Spider coming out, which is the next Psychic Awakening with Fabius Bile.
Yeah.
The Fabius Bile model looks gorgeous.
Dude, yeah.
I think the old one was fine, but you can't. They're trying to get away from the resin, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I looked at they had what was it? They had an animation where as you slid it, it would show you the old one versus the new one. And I remember looking at the old one was like, the old one's pretty good. Mm-hmm. But okay, fine.
For its age, it was pretty good. But some people online didn't understand. I don't think they had ever seen it because they were like, "What's with his hair?" I mean, homie has receding hairline. It's just what it is. Sometimes
it happens.
Sometimes Space Marines have receding hairline. It's a thing.
Yeah.
The line was released. For some reason, a bunch of the internet thought it was a 40K model when it was teased. It was pretty clearly part of the Primarch series for
it's very much a 30K model
for Horus Heresy. Like you could tell, like the design of the base and everything. Like it was clearly a Horus Heresy model.
Well, yeah, the Primarch models. I mean, there's no like the 30K Magnus model is nothing at all like the 40K model. Like it's not even on the same. And that's just looking at the base. That's not even looking at the other stuff.
And Guilliman is very different. Like, they're all extremely different. Yeah. So I don't know why anybody would think that. But whatever. It's a gorgeous model.
Yeah, it is. I kind of looked at that and went, Dark Angels? Well, I've got a bunch of Dark Vengeance sets, so whatever. Yeah.
And the sword he's carrying is very clearly the same sword that Cypher has on his back.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a really nice modeling decision
touch,
by. Yeah, that's a really nice touch. Yeah,
I like that. What else? This week was the Praetors
from the Word Bearers.
Yeah,
those are.
They're bonkers.
I'm not going to build a Word Bearers army because you should only have so many armies, but I will be honest, those are some beautiful models. I was really, really impressed.
Oh my goodness. So, that Terminator with the flames.
Yeah.
I love it. That is really cool. Angels of Death CGI.
That's going to make a lot of people happy. Yeah. I haven't watched that yet.
It was really good.
Yeah.
They're using the monochrome. Well, the person who's doing it is the same person who did the Hell's Reach animation.
Yeah.
Which was black and white style.
Right. Yeah.
In this case, for this Blood Angels one, everything is black and white except for the red, because Blood Angels.
Oh, okay. So it's got that accent color, kind of like a Sin City type of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's that. Was it Film Noir? Yeah, that's okay. I haven't watched it just because I just haven't watched it because I tend to wait on watching those videos because
a lot of folks are saying they're trying to compare it to the new Astartes fan series that's out, and saying that some people prefer the artistic decisions made in the Astartes series. The Astartes series is just Volter porn.
Okay.
And there is one scene with a human face, which in the face is pretty good. But it's mostly just guys with helmets, which is way easier than animating
faces.
Actual faces. So we'll see. I think Angels of Death is going to be awesome. Looking forward to seeing more from that. What else? Oh, and then to wrap it all up, we have Psychic Awakening Pariah, which is coming after War of the Spider. And we got models for that.
Yeah,
we have a new Harlequin. The Harlequin looks really cool. It doesn't have a helmet on or a face mask, which I guess in the books, we haven't read the book. Well, I haven't read the books.
I haven't. Okay, I didn't know the book existed until this. I mean, which I was a little aggravated that I did not know that there was a Sister of Battle who had a accompanying Harlequin. That's really
I think
a cool
she's a
bit of
psyker
lore.
too.
Oh,
yeah, we need to look this up. So, anyways, the Sister of Battle is super awesome. I don't like the paint scheme that they used because it's literally like it's nothing. They don't use the same scheme as is on the art on the book, so I think people.
Oh,
it seems like a weird choice for paint scheme. I guess they just went with the actual order that she came from or whatever.
Right.
But you can paint it however you want, so that's fine. It's a very dynamic pose with the cloak going off in the back. And
yeah, I saw that.
And her hair flipping up and everything, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it'll look better with a different paint job on it.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Ephariel Stern is her name. And Kaiganil the Harlequin. Because
they did the overall black scheme, if I remember correctly, with the red cloak, which is I think that's their the studio army color. That might be why they went with it instead of going through and doing a scheme that was more similar to the artwork. And that could be the reason, just uniformity. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So she's cool. I can't wait to see. I was not expecting that, so that's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was shocking. That's whenever I said that's why I was so shocked, because I never even heard of that model or the character.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm wanting to go through and kind of do some reading on that. They're re-releasing was that like a graphic novel that she was in?
That's what they say, but I think she's also.
Okay.
I thought there was also a novel. I could be wrong. You know what? We're
okay.
We're
figuring it out, guys.
I really should have researched that part of it.
Well, you didn't know I was going to ask questions.
No,
so.
I thought about it, and I'm like, we should probably do a segment on her, just to catch people up.
Well, the good thing is that right now our listeners are actually hearing the way that we work here at Masters of the Forge.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you, yeah.
Yeah, Demonifuge, the graphic novel series, background information, Villainy, and Infamy, and the website is probably on Wayback Machine. No, and I'm looking on Lexiconum right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like just a graphic novel, so that would be a really quick.
Yeah,
would be a really quick read.
Yeah, I totally would like to check that out. I mean, let's be honest. What kind of lore is hey, let's go through and have a psychic Sister of Battle hanging out with a Harlequin? I mean, that sounds cool. Just that idea is like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. So yeah.
All right. So why don't we move on and talk about... okay. We were going to talk about the novel...
Mark of Faith?
From
Rachel Harrison.
By Rachel Harrison. We don't have quite enough research on that yet.
Yeah. Still... Yeah, I apologize. I haven't been doing a whole lot of reading, so that's my fault. That's me.
It's whatever, dude. It's fine.
Yeah.
As people are saying, during a global epidemic, you don't need to be super productive. It's fine. So instead, let's just go through the lore of Saga of the Beast and just kind of talk about it. It's pretty interesting. I'll start us off.
Okay.
Gazgul is conquering other warlords, while many warbands flock to his banner voluntarily. So he either has to beat them into submission or they're coming for him. There's like an Evil Sons warband that's actively seeking him out. There's also some really established war bosses that he has to go around thumping their heads to get them to bend the knee. So the orcs, after seeing Chaos Forces attack from Gork's Grin, which is the Cicatrix Maledictum, they decide to plunge themselves into the rift looking for a fight. Obviously. Several of the mobs were eaten and never heard from again, but many more made it through and were delivered to some truly exciting scraps. Weird Boys and Warp Heads are way more common and more powerful than ever. They're able to smite really powerful defenses as well as legions of enemy troops all at once. And they can teleport entire armies in the blink of an eye.
That's cool.
Yeah. Rune Priests have seen visions of this threat spreading the galaxy. They liken it to emerald sparks from a flame, like spreading out. They've sought out allies to fight off the Orc menace. The Greater Imperium's dealing with the chaos threat, but the Rune Priests have kind of realized that the Orcs are just as dangerous.
Their
Deathwatch allies are spread way too thin, but some of the chapters expected to support the wolves were the Dragon Spears, they're oathbound to the Space Wolves. It'd be interesting to read more about them. And the Night Raptors, who they have a score to settle with the Orcs. Yeah. So
I'm not familiar with the Dragon Spears.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with them. Okay, so that's something I'm going to go read later. Okay, so the Scarskill subsector on the dark side of the rift near the Eye of Terror has largely fallen silent and is envisioned to be a staging point for many orc assaults. The Blackmanes make for this world of Seaball in order to link up with their allies, the Obsidian Jaguars. Ooh, wait, that sounds awesome. Sorry,
those guys.
Squirrel moment.
Those guys sound cool. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I thought the Dragon Spears sound really cool, but the Obsidian Jaguars are, I don't know who's making up these names, but 2 thumbs up from me. So anyway, onward. They find the world overrun and the fleet obliterated. They assault the world with their armor with armor, which is distracting the orcs away, while Eric Morkai and his sneaky pals go after the gene seed of the Obsidian Jaguars and the main generator. Although they do manage to destroy the generator and kill millions of orcs, most of the gene seed is ruined. I really need to go look these guys up. I love that name. All right. Also, in the Imperial Nihilus, near the Scarskill region, is the world of Leakids, which is thought to be the next target of the evil sun Speedwog, which has been zipping across the segmentum with preternatural speed, heading straight for Gazgul's location. That's going to be fun. Nothing terrifying there. So anyways, they're heading straight for Gazgul. The wolves, Swiftclaws, and Thunderwolf cavalry meet the speed mob in battle, piercing the mob like a spear and aimed at its heart. Massive mobile battle fortress. That's, of course, crackling with Wog energy thanks to the dozen or so weird boys chained to its hull, because, that doesn't scream Mad Max at all. And as the wolves approach, several vehicles were bolted to death and the wolf priest's heads exploded. And then all the orcs were just gone. Yeah, man, that sounds like a fun weekend. I love that there's like the dozen or so weird boys chained to the hull. I mean, that should be an apocalypse vehicle. There should be a data sheet that's just like, here, build this, chain some weird boys to it. Yeah.
It seems like the Obsidian Jaguars have a short story in the on the website. One of the short stories for...
Oh, do they?
Yeah, for the Era Indomitus, short storyline that they've been doing for free.
Yeah.
It looks like the Obsidian Jaguars have a story on there, so it's worth checking out.
Okay. I am going to check that out later.
It is called My Computer Has Stopped Scrolling on that website because there are too many advertisements.
The Stand of the Saber.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Stand of the Saber. I've got it on my phone.
Also, the Night Raptors were a Night Lords unit, so I don't know what's up with that.
I will bet. Okay, I will bet that is probably.
It's probably
some
apocryphal.
sort of. I'm gonna let me think. It's probably a successor chapter to the Raven Guard.
Probably, because it's funny.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
At least I would hope so. I don't know. That'd
Anyways,
be a good idea. Let's try some good ideas. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, suggestions. All right, so next up, where are we? Okay, you got it. Okay.
Did we talk about the wolf priests' heads exploding?
Yes, we did. Which, that's just kind of gross and kind of funny. I mean,
yeah, it's gross and funny.
Yeah, and the Thousand Suns player in me is just like, oh, well, that sounds lovely.
It sounds like a great big bucket of no thank you. Yeah, it's really interesting how, all of these books, all of these Psychic Awakening books describe a lot of highfalutin magic that really isn't in the books right now or in the rules. Yeah. So I'm wondering...
Right.
A lot of them are just narrative vehicles to get things moving, which you can do in your games, in your campaigns and stuff. You don't have to have rules for it. You can just say, oh yeah, this is part of a more for part of a narrative scenario than for just adding to your army as rules.
Right.
Especially for matched play.
Yeah, exactly. And to be perfectly honest, I would love for them to have the a rule set for did it have a name? The Massive Mobile Battle Fortress?
Oh, yeah.
With the Weird Boys chained to it. Oh, man. That would be such a fun model to build and put together.
Legends does have a Orc Battle Fortress. And it would only take a little bit of tinkering to add some Weird Boys to it, I'm sure. Yeah, there used to be... Well, there's also a Skullhammer Battle Fortress. Uh-huh. The Skullhammer is made out of a Baneblade, and then the other Orc Battle Fortress was a resin kit.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's they're really cool models. Anyways, in the Voria system, the desperate leadership had hired the Blood Axes to fight off another orc invasion. Of course, once victory had been secured by the Blood Axes, they decided they wanted the Prometheum refineries on Gavos for themselves, so they turned on their employers and took the area. This lured the wolves to the system to take care of that problem. The Blood Axes feigned a retreat into the wilderness where they had ambushes and traps set up. But Crom Dragongaze, this is the Space Wolf who fought the Space Wolves earlier in 8th edition. No, it was 7th edition. He came in that box set with what's his name? Anyways, the new orc war boss, plastic war boss model.
Okay.
He knew better, so he employed some restraint and allowed the Fenrisian wolves and the Thunder Wolves to sniff out the orc positions.
Yeah. So
they could flush out the ambushers and destroy each one systematically. So when the orcs realize, well, this ambush thing isn't going to work, it's kind of like, where all the good camping spots are in a video game, and you just you just shoot a rocket at the sniper.
Yeah.
So the orcs realize this, so they just kind of, when that fails, you just wah, right? So the wolves were surrounded, but the Death Wolves and the Drake Slayers had been set as reserves, and they hammered at the flanks of the hammered at the flanks of the orcs, and basically hammer and anviled them to death. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Then a Death Skulls armada made its way to the Everod system shipyards.
Yeah.
They're blue. So very lucky spaceships. The Imperials tried to draw them away, but with each effort, the Death Skulls actually added more ships to their flotilla instead of because for every enemy ship that was destroyed, they added it to the orc flotilla. So that wasn't really working out very well for them. So the wolves ordered every vessel in the shipyards, whether it was finished or not, they were towed to this place called the Narion Reef, which is an asteroid field. And they posed as dormant wreckage, very as the Trojan horse strategy. The orcs started hosing the ships down with blue paint and sent over looting crews. It took all of the Imperial's effort to not attack the orcs as they're being tagged, basically.
Yeah.
But all the Imperials struck at the same time, ripping into the unsuspecting orcs. The orcs retaliated with boarding crews, including catapult-flung meganobs. Like the orc cruisers have literal catapults on them, and they were shooting meganobs across space at the Imperial ships. Isn't that great?
The orc lore is so much fun. I mean, it's so over the top and ridiculous.
other elite troops were just teleported on, but the meganobs wanted to be, for some reason, flung on. I don't know. Kiarl Grimblood's battle barge, the Firewolves guy, was destroyed. Or say that the little lore snippet on the side was in character, so it's like his vessel's gone. And I wonder if I don't know, was he destroyed or is it just gone? Those are two different things these days,
Yes, that is. Yeah, but just because it's not there doesn't mean it's destroyed. Okay.
Yeah. So that we don't know the result of that battle, but we'll probably find out in the next book.
All right. So then we have on the world of Brakutos. The Space Wolves found the Pain Boys that set up massive doping operation connected to the world's water supply. Yay! Which meant the snakebite orcs, which are the kind of feral orcs, were abnormally huge due to their ministrations. So, despite this, though, and the clan's use of various squigs, the wolves were victorious somehow.
I can't imagine why. So dumb.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the orcs setting up these giant refineries of drugs and grossness in the water treatment plant and fouling it up with this stuff and pumping it out to the whole city so the orcs can drink it and get bigger.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious and really disturbing at the same time.
Right?
Yeah. All right, so then we have Ragnar Blackmane, who met Gazgul on Krongar, where they both laid each other low in battle. Blackmane was restored through the Primaris upgrade. Okay, that's how I figured. And Gazgul was restored through the ministrations of Mad Doc Grotskin, who employed strange warpcraft in his work. So Gazgul, of course, came out of the process stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's Gazgul, man. I mean, he's the man.
Yeah, Ragnar actually managed to chop his head off.
Yeah, but you can just staple that back on.
Literally, the model is in the model. His head is literally stapled back on.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm serious. You can look at the model. It's got. I guess those could be stitches, but I don't know. Those would have been absorbed by the body a long time ago. Yeah, those are staples.
Oh wow! I
But when Mad Doc was doing it, he had these huge energy collectors funneling power into Gazgul as he was resuscitating him, kind of like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
That is unreal.
There's not a lot of detail in the book. That story is described in Ragnar and Gazgul's description section. So I think instead of the lore section, so I think that they're relying on they don't want too many spoilers for
what's coming next.
It's David Annandale has a novel, I think, that describes what happened there. So I'm gonna have to pick that up. So in the Echoes of Awakening section, it's my, I like this little section that gives little in-character blurbs about what's going on.
Yeah, those are always
what else
fun.
is going on, like tangential to this story. So the Drukhari attack a group of Imperials, but a psyker among the people turns all the Drukhari inside out. But then they turn on the humans.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's a problem. Guavesa are utilizing their psykers against attacking forces, so...
Really?
Yeah. Visions, there's visions of talons and maws.
Yeah.
There's an anonymous narrator that is very upset at the Death Guard, and it says, "My spear will run with their blood." I'm not sure who all out there has a spear.
I wonder if it's another Death Guard warband, or if it's another Chaos. I'd have to read it, but that sounds interesting.
Doesn't the Angel have a spear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. It could also be a custodian, a custode, I think, maybe.
Yeah, there's the custodians that could be. It also could be.
Does the new Raptor character have a spear? I think so. Anyways, it's a limited number of characters who have spears, so I think that's pretty interesting. Who's very upset at the Death Guard. The Death Watch are stretched very thin, which is no surprise because they're an elite unit. Troops are reporting faster than lightning and glowing shining spears from the Imperials, from the Astra Militarum. And of course, those Astra Militarum are being flogged and executed for false reporting. I hate the Imperium so much. They're so stupid. Imperial citizens are more prone than ever to dissent and revolution. And of course, the Imperium's logical response is more brutality.
Yeah.
Because that's how you squash insurrections, is to be even more mega than you were previously. Yeah. And Yarick is looking for Ghazghul, but Ghazghul is evading him. I think Ghazghul is looking for
Yarick's still alive?
Yeah. Ghazghul is looking for that. I think Ghazghul is looking for that epic, meaningful showdown. So that can only happen on Armageddon. Yeah.
But Yarick would be like, at this point, like 250, 300 years old.
Well, that message came from a starship. So who knows how old he is, really.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's so many... Yeah, I don't even know why... I don't even know why I brought up time. And
rejuvenate treatments and stuff. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. So let's have a quick chat about some of the rules in here. I think we'll go over them more in more detail at another time. Yeah. I'd like a chance to play through them. But we have a new Theater of War, which are forest worlds. It looks like fun. It looks like a lot of fun. You can only target somebody if they ran or if they're within 12 inches.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they're just going from tree to tree,
they're
basically. They're in the other undergrowth. That's pretty cool.
That is a cool rule set. I do like that.
The Crucible. So they're doing Crucible of War scenarios for this one instead of specific to the story. They are tangential to the story, so you can use any army you want for these. So so one's Draw Out the Beast, where you have like a central deployment for the defender, and then the attacker is encircling them. In this case, it would be the orcs are defending and the wolves are attacking, which is an interesting dynamic. Yeah. Armored Interdiction, which is a fast-moving group of defenders, which again the orcs are playing the defender, while a outflanking armored force strikes at them as they're moving across the battlefield. Then there's Cleanse the Hulk, which it's an open battlefield with 3 areas where the attacker is, or was it defender? It doesn't matter. The first force is trying to burrow into the hull of the ship. With like machinery, and the force that's coming in, that's infiltrating in, is trying to stop them from doing that. And that seems like a really cool scenario.
Yeah, I like that. That's interesting. I didn't pick up this book it actually slipped my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I think I might have ordered it and it just hasn't come in yet.
It was right when the plague hit, so.
Okay. Because there's some stuff I ordered that hasn't come in yet, so I'll have to double check. Okay.
Yeah,
because I'm liking these scenarios.
They are really cool scenarios, and again, they're set up in a generic way. So you could really use them. But I think the orc side is the defender in all three scenarios. No, the orcs are technically the attacker in the third scenario, but they're actually defending these drill points. So, but you could use that for a lot of stuff, like for Gene Stealer Cult drilling into the crust of the earth or whatever, or Imperials drilling in and trying to get Blackstone out of the earth. You could do Admech versus Necrons that way.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool.
Yeah, you can. Okay, so that one's one that could be easily reskinned.
All of these are definitely reskinnable. I like them a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, and there's stratagems for all of them and whatnot.
Okay.
So a lot of people have been upset about the Space Wolves. So the Space Wolves Codex is unchanged, except this book adds to it, and they get combat doctrines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And people are upset because they're saying that implies that the Space Wolves adhere to the Codex Astartes, which they do not.
No.
I feel like that the combat doctrines, though, are more Space Marine buffs than they are like Codex Astartes things. I don't know. Because a lot of the combined arms tactics that the Space Wolves use, the combat doctrines do apply, really. Right. So a lot of the descriptions of fights, like when they're trying to draw the enemy away from a fight with their tanks, with their heavy tanks, and then they come in, bolters blazing, and then chopping dudes up, like that's literally what the combat doctrines do.
Right.
A lot of it they'll use their heavy armor to soften the enemy, so they kind of use their iron wolves as a shield. You know, the Vindicators and Predators and stuff. They'll act as a shield for the softer targets, and they'll soften up the enemy before the wolves go running in and attacking, because usually Space Marines in general are way too limited in numbers to take on a huge horde of enemies. And they rely on their heavy support to thin the numbers a little bit before they go in and assault. Even the Space Wolves.
Yeah.
So
because you just can't throw a limited number, I hear you. Yeah.
So I don't think I agree. And that might be a unpopular opinion, but I feel like, even without the Codex Astartes, I feel like the combat doctrines reflect the small, elite combat doctrines of the Space Marines in general. No matter what your actual specific combat doctrine is, which is covered in the Space Wolves Codex, you still get everything that you had in there, and you get a bunch more stratagems that support you as a Space Marine army. So I don't know. I would still kind of defer to a Space Marine or a Space Wolf player, but I don't really know if there is an argument to be made. I'd certainly be open to hearing the argument from others.
Yeah.
One of the suggestions I heard was it would be nice if each of the great companies had a specialization.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
But I feel like you can do that just by unit selection. So like if you wanted to play the Iron Wolves, you just add more tanks.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if I was going to go through and run, filthy Space Wolves, I would. The way I would work it is I'd probably go with a certain company and then build towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is,
I think we've gotten really obsessed with the army-wide special rules, reflecting very specifically the kind of army you want to run. But then you start getting into these balance issues of, well, I guess I'll just take a detachment of this.
Yeah.
And then a detachment of this and mix things up. And with that, So, however, that totally flies in the face of the philosophy behind the orc specialist mobs.
Okay.
So that is literally what those are for. So there are specific. So I'll just read one of them, just so you can get an idea of what we're talking about here. So let's go with Pyromaniacs. You can reroll any and all of the dice. So your specialist mob replaces your clan keyword.
Okay.
So I can't have Death Skull's Pyromaniacs. I don't get both the rules for both.
Yeah, it's one keyword or the other. Okay.
Yep. You can reroll any and all of the dice when determining the number of shots made for Burnas, Scorches, Burnabottles, Burna exhausts, Kilojets, and Scorcher missiles equipped on models with a unit with this subculture. When resolving an attack made with a melee profile of a Burna equipped with a model with this subculture, you can reroll the wound roll. When resolving the Burna Bombs ability for a subculture, add 1 to each roll. So, very specifically, so if you take a battalion or regiment of orcs, it would not make sense to make that battalion Pyromaniacs, because it only affects very specific units.
Yeah,
So you would
Those are all elite units?
You would take there's some of them are elite, some of them are fast attack, but you'd probably, like, if you're just taking Burnas, you would just take a Vanguard detachment of Burnas and maybe 1 Burna bomber to go with them or something.
Yeah.
And maybe a war boss with a combi Scorcha, which would be really cool. Or maybe a Big Mech with a combi Scorcher to go with them. And you would just take a Vanguard detachment, and those are your Pyromaniacs. And then you'd have your battalion to go with them. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, because you would have those sort of weird subcultures that show up in the clans that would, they would be obsessed with fire. Or, is there a subculture that is obsessed with commandos?
Yep, there is Hunters. They're sneaky devils.
Okay. So there's your Sisters of Battle, or your Sister B and her group. Yeah.
Yep.
See, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. That one's really cool. You get to you're better at fighting in terrain features because you're sneaking up on people. Boom boys blow stuff up. Flyboys Flyboys are cool. The people have -1 to hit you when you charge them.
Got it. Is there a biker subculture?
The Speed Freaks already have kind of a thing in the rules. But yeah, it's really interesting. I think that this is here's my thoughts on that. On the mobs, I think the rules writers understand that the specialist detachments really didn't pan out the way they had hoped.
Yeah.
And they just added rules and made things a little more powerful, which is a problem because that's kind of what the problem we had in 7th edition. Even though you're using existing resources, like you have to spend a command point to use it, and then it just includes additional stratagems and stuff like that. Stratagems and warlord traits. It's still creating a situation where it's layering rules on top of rules, which is tough for people to wrap their heads around. So these special clans, which you could do this with other armies. So instead of a specialist detachment, you switch out the sub-faction rules, and only units in that detachment would have that.
Got it. Okay.
That's a good way of doing these kind of special detachments without actually layering on new rules or additional rules or trying to balance new ones. Instead, you would balance it based on their keyword abilities, which I like that. I hope that they go forward with that with other armies, because it's a good way of doing it. I think a good balanced way of doing it. But for the orcs, there's a lot of weird subcultures like this, and you're free to come up with your own. Like you said, what about speed freaks? Well, speed freaks do exist as a thing, and we have a specialist attachment for speed freaks, but it would be better. I kind of wish they said, never mind the specialist attachment, use this subculture instead.
Got it.
That would have been really cool, but it's fine. It's whatever. We also got custom jobs, which was always a weird thing with the orc fortification. The
mech's warehouse, the mech boy.
We're so
garage.
We're so good at this. We're just the best. Mech workshop. So you get one for free when you have the mech workshop. It allows you to upgrade one of your units, and each one is very specific to a unit in the army. And I think they're kind of trying to bump up the power level of some of these, or at least give you interesting things to do. So one of the complaints I had about the start of the game, some of the stratagems that affect speed freaks units, like the buggies, is that the buggies split into separate units, individual units of one when you put them on the battlefield.
Right.
So once a stratagem only affects one of those vehicles because it's a separate unit after it hits the battlefield.
Yeah.
These are pre-game ones that affect the unit before they're put on the battlefield. So if you have a unit of 3 buggies, the custom job will affect all 3 buggies.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
So you get one for free when you take a Mech Boy Workshop, or you can use a stratagem, 1 point stratagem to give custom jobs.
Okay.
Before the game begins.
I remember we played a game before the codex was dropped that used the Mech Boy garage, and I remember because you had. What was it? I was running Knights. You're running
Morkanauts and
basically
Gorkanauts.
Stampas. Yeah. And I remember that, there was the Mech Boy, garage type thing, and there was something that the Knights had. And I don't even know if I tried to use the one for the Knights, and I wasn't all that. This is from a rules standpoint. Sorry, everyone. I remember not being totally impressed with what I had, and I don't even remember if you even used yours.
No, neither one of us used ours because you have to give up a turn of shooting to use it.
That was it. Okay, yeah, and we were both, running low on the number of. We had a low model count, so I think maybe with a larger model count, that probably would be a little bit different. So, yeah.
I mean, from a narrative perspective, it makes sense that it takes time to give the upgrades.
Oh yeah,
but from a gameplay perspective, it's kind of problematic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
is in a nutshell the Saga of the Beast.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I'm really looking forward to using these rules. I hope I can get a game in on Tabletop Simulator with maybe I'll try out Vassal just to start trying it with one of the guys from our Warhammer group, and we'll have some games to talk about next time, and we'll definitely talk about Mark of Faith next time. Once again, sorry everybody.
Yeah,
I hope that
I will be better.
You're okay. You're okay. And we might have some other. We might just put it all in one episode instead of 2 episodes, though.
Okay.
Because again, I wasn't done. I mean, I really hadn't written the notes yet. I mean, I had my own notes, which is just a disaster. So it's fine.
I've read the first 3 chapters. I just need to get moving.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see everybody next time when we talk about Mark of Faith. But until then,
play the game the way you want to.
All right. We'd love it if you could give us a positive rating and review on iTunes.
If you'd like to keep in contact with us, you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Masters of the Forge. And you can follow our hobby progress on Instagram with the hashtag Masters of the Forge.
You can also contact us at mastersoftheforge@gmail.com if you have any questions, topic suggestions, or if you'd like to advertise your creative hobby endeavor. Thanks again for listening.
This podcast is protected by the Creative Commons Attribution, No Derivatives, Non-Commercial, International License. More information about this license and contact information if you have any requests can be found at our blog, mastersoftheforge.com. The music used in this podcast was made by Podod of the duo Sublevel 3. The track is used with his permission.
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.